Want to make an Afghan one block at a time? Join me and we can make one together. Thank you for joining me on the journey to make an Afghan together block by block. This video series takes 16 different Afghan squares, 3 of each of the same square, but each square of those 3 are a different shade of gray. You can pick your own colors, but I have the links to the 3 grays that I use down below. In the end, I will show you how to join the squares and finish off your Afghan. In just a few short weeks, we will have a completed Afghan. I want to make sure I give credit. The blocks are all a modification and a different version of patterns that I got from this pattern that I had since 1997. So I don't believe it's in print anymore, but I wanted to make sure credit was given to the original designer. Okay, for this one, we are going to work on the post of the stitches. So it's a half double crochet on the post. So we're going to start with our slip knot. I have my J crochet hook, and you start with 27 loose chains. And I always double check to make sure I didn't miscount. 26 and 27. Nothing more frustrating to me than getting your whole row done and you have miscounted. So now we are going to do half double crochets, and we're going to start it in the 3rd chain from the hook. So what that means is, let me get my hook out of there. So that's number 1, there's number 2, and there's number 3. So we're going to do a half double crochet in the 3rd one from the hook. And a half double crochet, you loop over. You go through both strands of the chain, draw back, and now we're just going to draw back through all 3. And we're going to do that half double crochet all the way across. So you just draw through all 3, go to the next chain, looping over first, draw through all 3. So when we're going to get done with the half double crochets on this row, we are going to have 25 of them, and so we'll double check. So let's count the number of half double crochets. 4, and there's 25. Fantastic. So we are going to chain 2 now, and we're going to simply do half double crochets in each half double crochet from across the row. So don't skip any. In the very first one, we do another half double crochet. Okay, I'm ending the 2nd row, and this is the turning chain. So we're going to go ahead and put a half double crochet in the top of that, and we're going to count again to make sure that we have 25. 1, 2, 3, 24, and 25. Fantastic. So now is when we start doing the fun part of working on the post. So we're going to chain 2. We're going to half double crochet in the very first one. So now we are going to do a front post half double crochet on the row prior. On this half double crochet below the next one that you would typically go in, we're going to pop down below it, and we are going to do a front post half double crochet. So loop over, go down to the half double crochet directly below, draw back your yarn, and draw through all 3 on the hook. So basically what you're doing is you're skipping 1 up here to do your next one. Down below you're going every other half double crochet is a post, and up here every other one is normal. So we just finished a post. So you have a stitch in that one, so we're going to skip the next chain because that corresponds with your post, and do a half double crochet. So down here, you're going to skip that half double crochet and do a post. Up here, you're going to skip a chain and do a half double crochet. You're going to skip 1 down there, do the half double crochet around the post. Up here, you're going to skip 1 and do a normal. Down low, you're going to do skip one, do a post. Skip one, do normal. Skip one, do post, all the way across. Okay, we're down to the last one. We're going to skip that, and we're going to do a half double crochet in the turning chain. So at the end of that row, we are going to have 25 stitches. And so you go ahead and count those again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 24, and 25. So we're right on track. And so now you're going to chain 2. You're going to turn your row, and you're going to half double crochet in each of the stitches all the way across. This is what it looks like at the end of the row that you just did the half double crochets all the way across. Double check that you have 25 of those. Now we're going to chain 2, and we're going to turn, and we're going to repeat this front post concept. So you're going to half double crochet in the first one. Now you're going to go down below to the top of the half double crochet here, and you're going to go around that post and draw through all 3. So you're skipping that chain, go to the next one, do a half double crochet, skip that half double crochet, go to this one. And you have to kind of stretch out your half double crochet to make sure that they're nice and tall, the same height. So skip that one, half double crochet, skip that one, half double crochet, nice and tall, skip that one, go to this one, and you're going to continue that. There we go, all the way across. So this is what you're going to end up with. You're going to end up with posts all the way running this way, and on the back side you're going to have it nice and smooth. So we're going to continue across, front post, and then a whole row of half double crochets, 25 of them, front post, and just continue till your project is a square. Okay, finishing a half double crochet row, the one that goes all the way across. And it looks like we're pretty close to a square, so let's measure this. Let's turn it over and show you what both sides look like. Makes a nice little ridge. Okay, so let's measure this. We have 7.5 and almost 7.5, so that looks pretty good. And so this one makes a really cool pattern with the ridges going up and down, both sides, pretty sweet. So now this one is ready for your edging. To add a border on your squares, with the same color, we are going to do one border of single crochets, and then we are going to switch to the color that you have chose to be your joining color. And in my case, my joining color is the light gray. So your first row around is the color of your square. Then we're going to finish it off, and we're going to go join in with the color that you chose as your main color, I should say. So I have just completed the last stitch on this square. All squares are going to be a little bit different, but the process is the same. So you finish your last stitch, you're going to chain 1. In that last corner there, you're going to put 3 single crochets. Now we are going down the end of your rows, and we need to have 25 single crochets between this corner and the next corner. So you just space them out evenly, and each time I can promise you I've ripped them out probably 50% of the time, because each one is just a little different. So I'm just going to show you my process. So that's our corner, and now you just start doing single crochets and count as you go. So there's 1, 2, I'm going to put another one in that hole. There's 3, 4, 5. I'm going to put another one in that hole, so that's 6, 7, 8, 9 in the same hole, 10, and 11, 12. On 12 to 13-ish, you should be close to halfway, and it looks like we're pretty close. So that was 12, 13, 24 in the same hole, and in this last hole we'll go number 25. Now we're up to the corner, and in that corner you're going to put 3 single crochets. 1, oh, there we go, 2, and 3. So now we have turned, and we're going to go down this side. The beginning tail, I have wove it through this edge of the square, so it will now get caught into our single crochet. So we've done 3, and now we do the same process, 25 on this side. Okay, this is number 25 on my last side. So we have each of the sides now have single crochets, and at this point you just join with a slip stitch in that first single crochet that you started with. So just stick, there you go, I got it through both of the pieces of that single crochet, and a slip stitch is you just pull it through and pull it through. I'm going to cut my thread and then just pull through your string. And now at this point, so that I can catch that tail in my stitching, I feed it through that last edge. Now take your main color, which is my light color, and we are going to join it in the corner. Pick any of the corners, but just pick the middle of the 3 stitches. So here's 1, 2, 3. So in the center one, insert your hook and draw up your yarn. Chain 1, and in that same stitch, you're going to put 3 single crochets. Now we go on each side, but instead of 25 in between, we need to have 27. And this time it's a little bit easier because you're following the stitches from down below. But there have been many times, because crafting is not perfect, there's been many times that I'll get to the end and I only have 26. So I'll back it off a little bit and I'll add one here to make sure I have 27. It's very important to have 27 on each side. Each square needs to be blocked, and so I am using a June Taylor cushioned square blocker. But there's a lot of mats out there. I have the link for this one down below, but you need to pin it onto a mat 8 inches square. So each square needs to be pinned 8 inches, and I have been putting my pins every inch along each of the sides. And after we get that done, then we can steam it to get it into shape. So I start by putting a pin in each corner at the 8-inch mark and pin on each side, and then just add a pin all the way around. Okay, I'm just going to use my personal iron set on the steam setting. Steam each one of them for a minute. So I have my board, I have 3 of them on here. So I'm going to steam each one for a minute, come back and hit them for about another 20 seconds. And then when they cool down, I can remove the pins. Once they have cooled down and are dry, just pull off your pins, and your square is blocked and ready to attach to make your Afghan. You may want to join your blocks as you go, and I have a diagram on the blog, DIYonthehouse.com, that you can print out. You can put them together in whatever order you want because I did not want any of the same colors beside each other. So however you choose to put them together, to join them, you'll need a large eye yarn needle. And I am going to join them with the light color, the same color as the second row of the edging on each of your squares. So just cut a piece, roughly a yard long, and we will join it with this thread. And the reason we counted so carefully to make sure there were 27 stitches on each side, that'll make this process really easy. So to start the joining, thread up a couple, maybe 1.5 inches to hide your thread in the last row of stitching. And I'm just going to leave a tail like that. And then I have, following the pattern, I have my 2 pieces. I'm going to fold them wrong sides together. And I'm going to match up the corners. And it is just as simple as going through each from the bottom around to the top, to the bottom, to the top, and do not pull them too tight, just kind of nice and loose, but not too loose. Okay, there you can see the pattern that is going. It just makes it all a nice diagonal little stitch. So go ahead and do your squares that way. When you get to the end, leave your tail long. Don't cut this off because you then can pick it up with your needle and join the next ones as you get them going. So just leave your tails nice and long and you can join your squares as you get them done. Once you have sewn all of your squares together, we need to put a border on the entire project. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I am going to use the same color that I joined all the squares with. So in this pattern, it is the light color. And I don't like starting right on a corner, so I'm going to go a few stitches before that. Just insert your hook, draw through your thread, drop your thread, and I'm going to chain 2. So that's going to count as my first half double crochet, and I'm going to do 2 rows all the way around of half double crochet. So that's 1 in the next stitch, loop over, draw through all 3 on the hook, loop over, draw through, yep, there we go. And continue that, and I started near a corner so you could see what I have to do when I get to a corner. There we go. Okay, this is the corner stitch. We're going to put 3 half double crochets in the corner. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going down the other side and just continue a half double crochet all the way around your Afghan. Okay, and by putting those extra stitches in the corner, it lays nice and flat. So when you come around to this side, we're just going to slip stitch in the top of the first chain 2 again, and do a second row and finish it off. It'll just give it a nice solid border.